Hello, friends and residency candidates. Many of you out there are probably wondering, should you send follow-up letters of interest to residency programs after you've applied? And the answer is letters of interest can be very beneficial when sent correctly, appropriately, and to the right programs. So we're going to talk about a few things that you should keep in mind today about letters of interest. Now, the first thing to keep in mind is that these letters should really only be sent to your top programs. Maybe pick 5 or 10, possibly up to 15 or 20 if you have the time, of your very top programs. And the reason for this is that you want the letters to be as genuine and authentic and specific to each of these programs as possible. So the last thing that you want to do is send a generic message that contains no personalized or individualized information about that program to 50 or 100 residency programs saying, "Oh, hello, I applied. Please check my application. I'm very interested in your program. Thanks." No, that's not a good idea. These letters need to be very specific and tailored to each program. So let's dive into a few things that you should keep in mind for including in the content for your letters of interest. Some topics that you're always going to want to cover include things like specific attributes or aspects of the residency program that you're particularly interested in. Now, don't just repeat their mission statement and say that you resonate with their mission and values. That's not specific. You could say that about almost any residency program. Look into things like what type of research they're doing, or perhaps there are specific clinical rotations or training tracks that you have a specific interest in. Other elements that you can include would be the city or geographic region and why you're drawn to that area. So in essence, the letter of interest is almost like a mini personal statement plus supplemental application, all condensed into one place, this letter of interest. So be specific. Try to pick out 3 very unique aspects of the residency program that you can talk about. You're basically selling the residency program to themselves. And it's shown that you've taken the time and you actually have the genuine interest in those attributes of the residency program. In addition to covering details of the residency program itself and explaining why you particularly resonate with these aspects, it's okay to talk about yourself to some degree. Perhaps you have had relevant experiences that you can draw from your CV and personal statements. And you don't need to go too in depth here, but it's okay to mention some of your top experiences that you feel would make you a great candidate for that specific program. And they might be different for every program. They might be different for different specialties if you're applying to multiple specialties. So again, talk about the program itself. It's okay to mention specific aspects of your candidacy and why you might be a good fit. And of course, at the end, thank them for their consideration. You can invite them to look at your ARIS application and include your AAMC ID number. We always recommend including a photograph at the bottom as well, so they see your face, they recognize your name, and they can associate it with who you are as a person. So the length of the letter of interest should be anywhere from about 200 to maybe 500 words. 500 is definitely pushing it towards the upper limit of what would be readable and appropriate, but you really only want it to be a few paragraphs that are concise, that are very specific and compelling and engaging enough so that they want to look further into your application. Now you might be wondering, who should I send these letters of interest to? And the safest bet is probably to direct it to the program coordinator and possibly CC the program director. Alternatively, you could just address it to both the program coordinator and the program director, because at the end of the day, you don't know who's going to read it and you don't know who has the influence to get you that interview. Some program coordinators have more influence, some have less. Some program directors are more engaged and are going to be reading letters of interest, and some aren't. You just don't know. So the best and safest route would most likely to be just to include both of them. Now, if you do need help with editing or optimizing letters of interest that you have written, then we definitely recommend going to residencyexperts.com, where we can help you polish and optimize your letters of interest to make sure that they're professional, that they're very appropriate, and of course, that they're persuasive. So I hope you found this information helpful and informative. Definitely leave a comment below if you have questions or if you have your own experiences with getting more interviews from sending letters of interest. And give this video a like and make sure to subscribe to Match a Resident if you haven't already. All right, everybody, best of luck. Take care.